Hello everybody, I'm Krasi, and today I will talk about the transit of Mercury, which is important because it happens in a very interesting moment. There is a coincidence, and nothing is coincidence in astrology and in the world, but at the same time, when Mercury is entering, is changing sign and is entering Pisces, at the very a few days before, Venus also changed sign and entered Capricorn. Venus in Capricorn is a bit limited in terms of love, relationships, trade, markets. When Mercury is entering Pisces on the 26th of February, there is another interesting event happening with Mercury, and it is that Mercury is becoming invisible at that particular moment. So Mercury is entering Pisces and is becoming invisible. You will probably hear that Pisces is the sign where Mercury is not well placed, debilitated or detriment, but actually Mercury has two very important manifestations, and one is when Mercury is a morning star, and another one is, of course, when Mercury is an evening star, and the third one even is when Mercury is invisible. Well, Mercury is entering Pisces as an evening star. Pisces, of course, is an evening nocturnal zodiacal sign, also with the female nature. So Mercury as an evening star in Pisces is not feeling that bad, actually. Pisces, of course, is a sign which is exactly against the place where Mercury is exalted, or the place which he's ruling, and this is Virgo. But Pisces is a beautiful sign, full of astrological signs, fixed stars, not astrological, excuse me, spiritual, esoteric, fixed stars which are related to spirituality, intuition, dreaming, sometimes even illusion. So Mercury is an evening star. He's entering Pisces on 26th of February, and on the 3rd of March, Mercury is becoming invisible, hiding in the rays of the sign. So from a nature of being visible evening star, Mercury becomes suddenly invisible on the 3rd of March, and he will be for quite some time invisible. What is he when he's invisible? Then Mercury is not that supportive in what he means for us. For us, he means communication, trade, oratory skills, travel, sharing knowledge, receiving knowledge. He's the Lord of Astrology. He is about a trade, of course. Mercury in Pisces will be limiting the trade and the business, will bring the communication, the studies, the knowledge on another level, and this will be the level what Pisces propose, and this will be more on empathy, imagination, a little bit of illusion. It will be less concentrated on money making, so the markets certainly will be influenced by both. Also at that particular moment, we know that Venus is in Capricorn, where Venus in Capricorn is certainly not manifesting her option of qualities and blessings that Venus can denote. So why is also this particular transit of Mercury so important? Mercury on the 2nd and the 3rd of March, I'm looking at the chart right now, on the 2nd and the 3rd of March, Mercury is reaching the point of significant importance for our era. And this is the point of the vernal, the spring equinox. Very important, very significant point, which certainly will result in events. It is like when Mercury reaches this point, the evening star, also becomes invisible. This will result in some sort of illusionary communication, lack of communication. The trade will suffer. So if you will be starting new business, think twice. Analyze all the factors, additional factors of your business. Think twice, because there will be a lot of illusion, a lot of misunderstandings, because you know that Pisces is also a lot about empathy, a lot about being empathic and merciful with others. So it's a lot about emotions, and when in business too much emotion is involved, we may not achieve the results we would like to achieve. So think twice when you will be doing or starting new business. When you will be issuing book, it's not appropriate time. When you will be sending a message important related to your business or negotiating, it's not appropriate time. Or reconsider, recheck all details around your business and around your job. So what is here very important is mostly is really the heliacophrase of Mercury, which is that he is not only entering the sign which is a bit complex, like but very positive, very empathic, like Pisces, but this is because he becomes invisible, and he becomes invisible particularly in the 5th degree, in the point of the spring equinox. So this is a very important message that he will carry for us. We'll be careful. Of course, this will give us interesting spiritual events. This can depends how Mercury will be placed on your natal chart, but this can bring you very, very interesting spiritual events that you will go through. This can uplift, create opportunities for uplifting your consciousness, connecting with your higher self, because all this is happening in Pisces. But again, I'm saying for business, Mercury is not very much of a businessman while in Pisces. Detriment, I am not sure, because he may be detriment while he would be a morning star. But in Pisces, he doesn't feel that bad. The only thing is that he may not be concentrated so much in making business, in communicating messages, in negotiations. So during this time, while he will be there for approximately 1 month, we should be careful when performing such initiatives. For in terms of travel, Mercury, while in Pisces, will be all the time will receive the limiting aspect of Saturn and Pluto. This would say again that we need to be careful when traveling. We need to make sure that we are traveling on appropriate time, that we are traveling where, for example, while the moon at least is not invisible, and the moon will be invisible on 4, 5, and 6th of March. So we have to be very careful when choosing dates for new business, for communication, or at least avoid them for the period of approximately 1 month. So what is happening further with Mercury is that on the 6th of March, he will be stationary. This is not dramatic because in general, all events that come from Venus and Mercury as inferior planets would impact us mainly on emotional level and not so much like creating negative events for us, certainly not. But while Mercury is stationary for a very short time, it's like only for 1 day, certainly this is a period not appropriate for negotiations. It may lead nowhere. For like if you would have, for example, new book or new article or new message that you want to convey on YouTube or on Facebook or via your website, wait a bit. It's not really the most appropriate time. After this particular moment, on the 7th of March, Mercury will become retrograde. I don't see the retrograde phase of Mercury as dramatic, but I think it's exaggerated. I see as a more important the phase of his invisibility. So Mercury is invisible, and it is in his retrograde, but very near to us. This is the so-called inferior conjunction, when Mercury is very near the Earth. So he is very much influencing us still, even being retrograde and invisible. So he is invisible only from our point of view. He is there on the sky. But while retrograde, you may see slowdown in the markets. It may result in some slowdown in relation to your daily routine work. But certainly it won't lead to any dramatic uh, results for sure. On 8th of March, the first lunar crescent, which is marking the new lunar month, is appearing together with Mercury on the 8th of March. And with this, we are marking the beginning of the new celestial year. But this is a very interesting thing, and I will make absolutely separate video on this. But just to tell you that the moon is becoming visible. The first lunar crescent is becoming visible together with Mercury. And this is happening only 5 days after Mercury was visible and disappeared from the sky. So this is to say, this is an ominous thing. And it is to say that, especially when Mars is above the moon, that this particular year, or not only during this 1 month only transit of Mercury, but this whole year, which is starting in March and is ending somewhere in March next year, 2020, will be a lot about communication. Why am I saying this? We need to remember this because we will be very much misled. It will be a lot about illusion. It will be a lot about conveying to us messages which may not be corresponding to the reality. So we need to listen to our intuition, and we need to be very alert and very awake. And our level of consciousness need to be really on appropriate. We need to be very careful to uplift our level of consciousness and to work on our intuition so that we don't allow any messages worldwide to mislead us. In any case, trade and communication, of course, will be given special emphasis and attention, taking into consideration the heliacal phase of Mercury, which coincides with the heliacal phase of the moon, and with Mars, which is above the moon. With this, trade and communication will be suppressed worldwide. So, but to come back to this particular important transit, during these transits, it's good to do a lot on really working on our intuition. And this would be wonderful because Mercury is about the creative mind. Mercury is really Hermes. Mercury is Nabu. He's the son of Jupiter. He is a very special deity, and we can make use of this transit like this, working on through meditation, through any spiritual way to work on our consciousness and uplifting our vibrational level. From 15th of March until 13th of April, being retrograde, Mercury is entering Aquarius again. And we know what Mercury in Aquarius means. Aquarius is a sign of the own triplicity of Mercury. And Mercury being retrograde is already a morning star, still invisible, but in Aquarius, diurnal sign, Mercury already has the nature of diurnal planet, of daily planet. So in Aquarius, from 13th until 13th of April, from 15th of March until 13th of April, Mercury will feel very, very fine. It will be very much about conveying information, messages. Will be a lot about new inventions, technology, all this, but is still invisible. So he will not appear with the desired powers. He will not be as useful as you want him to be for your business, for your communication, for your negotiations. However, he will play a very interesting role when it comes to conveying your message, when it comes to the more technological part of the information and the messages in the business. Of course, let's not forget that he's invisible. And while invisible, as I said, he is not as powerful as he would be when becoming heliacally visible. So this way, the path of Mercury will continue in Pisces until 2nd and 3rd of May 2019, and then he will enter Aries. But we said what he would bring us while in Pisces, and and all the time he will be invisible. So if you have a new website that you want to publish, if you have new business that you want to start officially, or if you have an article that you want to publish, wait a while. Wait until Mercury becomes visible. This will be, it is very important, because just imagine when the master of the literature and knowledge and communication becomes visible, and at this particular moment you start your business, or you communicate what you want to communicate. This will have powerful impact and very positive results, and you will not have the same results until Mercury is invisible. So certainly I will update you further with the heliacal phases of Mercury, his appearances, his impact on the communication and the business. But certainly until 10th of May, we cannot expect any particular positive development in this regard. So I hope this was helpful. Don't forget that also while Mercury is in Pisces, he is influenced by the square of Saturn, and with this, all that he is responsible about is a little bit limited, or desires additional competence or structure or discipline in everything that we do. So thank you.